Good morning and welcome to Waking Up with Don. If you're like me, you like a house full of living things, if you have a pet or even plants. I have Kathy here from Living Interiors, and she's going to tell us why she does what she does. And Kathy, why do you do what you do? Are house plants that popular?
Well, they are, but I love plants. So I think you have to love what you do, and I love plants. So it was a perfect fit.
It seems like to me, for a while, I kind of had this fantasy job of my retirement job of working in a florist, because it just seems like a cool place to work. When people go into a florist, they always seem like they're in a good mood. It's almost like working in an ice cream parlor. I mean, it's kind of a fun place to work because people walk in there in good moods. Do you find that your service, you find people in good moods?
Well, they are, because my service goes into businesses. So when I walk into a business, most of my clients are happy. But if you've worked for me, or worked in the interior industry, you know that it's a lot more than just watering plants. It's hard work, and we're hot and sweaty and dirty by the end of the day. So it's fun. You have to love what you do, but it is a lot of hard work.
What type of businesses do you do this to? I could imagine doctors' offices, places like that.
Yeah, we do hotels, doctors' offices, banks, restaurants. We have several homes that we actually service. So probably 90% of my business is commercial, 10% is residential.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, so when you go into the doctor's office and you see these beautiful plants growing around you, you know the doctor's not doing this, and his staff isn't doing that. It's a service like you.
Absolutely. And oftentimes we go into, if you've gone into a restaurant or a doctor's office or a law firm, and you look at their plants and they look a little on the weak side, the first thing that comes to my mind is they need our services, or two, whoever is watering needs to pay a little bit more attention to what they're doing.
Yeah, because we've been known to kill a few plants in my house. And, we could probably use that service too, but I'm too lazy to do that. So I guess what I want to ask is, how does somebody wind up in this business? It's kind of unusual, don't you think? It's not your typical,
Right, and I'm glad, because
job. Yeah.
I don't have a lot of competition in Bay County at the moment. You have to have I have a degree in horticulture from Iowa State, so I've done this my whole life. As a young girl, I worked with plants. Got a degree from Iowa State, and then worked for Walt Disney World for a while.
Oh, wow.
And then decided, I can do this on my own, and there wasn't a lot of competition, so I started my business. You have to know what you're doing with plants. You can lose your shirt by not having the right plants.
I know, I guess you could. You want hardy plants that you're going to put out there.
Absolutely.
We have to run off to our local weather, but I do want to talk to you about the weather and about the climate and what plants do well here, and what type of plants that you bring to people's businesses and homes. You're watching Waking Up with Don, and we're going to your local weather, brought to you by the West Pittman Law Firm, westpittmanlawfirm.com. Welcome back to the show. I'm with Kathy Bunker from Living Interiors, and she's brought some of the plants that you might see around town with her here today in the studio. Now, you put these in public places, mostly indoors. So are these like indoor plants?
These are. And the reason I brought these plants down was because they're all easy to grow. For the most part, for an average beginning grower, these are all easy to grow. They all tolerate fairly low light. And what I wanted to bring to your attention was, this plant right here is called an aglaonema. That's its common name as well as its scientific name. And what's nice about an aglaonema is it can take low light. So you can grow it in an interior room in your home, and has a little bit of color in the leaves, so that it's a plant that can bring color as well as tolerate low light. This plant here is a peperomia. You see it's got white variegation in its leaves. It also is a low light, easy to grow plant.
Now, ferns are low light as well, I would imagine.
They absolutely are. This particular variety is a leatherleaf fern. It does well in lower light. But the key to growing any of these plants, to keeping them alive, is moisture. So what I teach my technicians, and anybody who asks me a question, is the easiest way to grow a plant is to keep the soil evenly moist. That's not to say that all plants like to be kept evenly moist. Some plants like more moisture, some plants like less. And if you're not sure, there's lots of books that you can look up and find the answers to. The easiest way to tell if a plant needs water is put your hands in the soil and actually feel the soil. And you want to go down to like your knuckle, and if it feels moist, generally leave it alone. If the soil feels dry, then give it a drink. And you want to give it a drink with room temperature water so that it goes all the way around the top of the soil line and let it leach down. We call that the leaching method, and just use a watering bucket, a cup, whatever you have available.
Right. Now, should you ever let your plants dry out? I know I've done that when they dry out and then I soak them and I forget about them for a while and they dry out again.
Some plants like to do that. There are certain species that like to do that. Most plants do not like to dry out. When they dry out like that, you reduce the shoots. So when you reduce the shoots of a plant, the roots, then I said that wrong. When you reduce the root system to the plants, the shoots don't grow. So if you dry your plant out too much, you reduce its growth.
Yeah, and just like we like to eat 3 times a day, I guess they like to have a steady diet of water and whatever else they eat. What do they eat? Minerals and
fertilizer, and which is a salt. So you would you generally fertilize your plants maybe 3 to 4 times a year, and you can use a water-soluble fertilizer. That's probably the easiest things to do. There are other forms of fertilizer, like an Osmocote type product, which is a slow-release granular, and many people find that easier to toss in their plant than mixing a water-soluble fertilizer.
Now you've got a big plant here on the floor. That's one of my favorites. That spider plant.
The spider, yes.
Yeah, the spider. Now these are virtually indestructible. I know because I had one for many years in my office, and I couldn't kill the darn thing, and it just grew and grew. I just gave it water and occasionally replenished the soil with fresh potting soil when it kind of got low. And the thing just lived forever and got huge.
And what's nice about a spider is also has been proven that it's an air purifier. So it would be a good plant to put in your home to reduce some of the toxins in your home. It's a good air purifier.
Kathy Bunker, if somebody wanted to get the services of Living Interiors, what do they do? Do you have a website? Should we call you?
livinginteriors.pc.com. You could also call 265-1772, and I would answer the phone and be happy to come out and give you a free estimate.
That's awesome stuff. And thank you so much for bringing your little plant friends in today.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
And we'll be right back after your Max Biz tip.
Hi, Zenobia Andrews here, your business system strategist, and I am delighted because I get to bring you your Max Biz tip for today. Now, all week long, we've been talking about procrastination and how it has a negative impact on your potential doing things great and big in this world. And today, I'm going to give you solutions and strategies on how I have lived a maxed out life by implementing these strategies in my life and overcoming that mindset of procrastination. Number 1, I give myself realistic timelines. For example, for all the incoming emails that I get, I've established a 48-hour rule that I will respond to any email within 48 hours. No pressure, right? I can't get to it right now, but within 48 hours, I'll respond. And that alleviates the pressure and the anxiety that all of those emails bring, right? Number 2, I ask my clients up front, what is the deadline? When do you need this back? And what are the deadlines that are attached to each milestone of the project? This is really, really, really critical, and your clients will appreciate it as well because it shows them that you are really in tune and you appreciate their time and when their deliverables are. Okay? And number 3, I prioritize everything. I mean everything based off of deadlines on when things are needed to be done or when things need to be complete. And what this does for me is it relieves me from thinking that I've got to get everything done at one time. And I don't get overwhelmed, right? I don't get overwhelmed with life because we all have so much going on. And so with all of this going on, we sometimes feel that pressure of anxiety and then we get stuck and we don't move forward. So establishing and prioritizing things in life, your business, your projects, your relationships, this will allow you to keep moving forward and taking action. Listen, I'm Zenobia Andrews, your business system strategist, and I am here to support you. You can reach me at www.zenobiaandrews.com. And if you follow me on social media, hey, I'll follow you back. And let's continue to press towards the max.
Welcome back to the show. We've got your musical minute with Pamela Elliott from Elliott Vocal Studios and Elliott Talent Agency. Elliott Talent Agency. That has that's kind of a new
Yes,
or
the
newer,
Pamela Elliott Talent Agency.
newer dimension to your
Yes.
business now. How's that going, Pamela?
It's going well. We're building our talent base, and we already had an open call for models, and we have got some really beautiful, beautiful models that we are constantly, adding to our website, and they're going to be get to work pretty soon.
What's your website again?
The Pamela Elliott TalentAgency.com. It's a
Okay.
mouthful.
But very straightforward and
Yes.
easy to remember. It's Pamela Elliott TalentAgency.com. Now, it's
Yes.
not just models, though. I mean, you
No.
have actors, actresses,
Yes.
musicians, the whole
Everything,
deal.
everything. And if there's a unique, and we're going to have open calls, people watch our sign because we're going to put information up there, and also watch Don's show because we're going to be talking about that on the show on Thursday mornings, about what's coming up and what we're doing at Elliott Vocal Studios and the Pamela Elliott Talent Agencies. Lots of open calls coming up.
I know you have regular events there now, and I tell you, the last show that we did at your place, we got a little sneak peek behind the scenes in the studio, and you have these great rooms in that structure that you have there.
It's a cool building.
For little auditions, for recording, just for getting together with other musicians and talented people. It's really a cool place.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. We're so happy to be there.
Yeah, and it's a great location, easy to find, right on 23rd Street.
It's very easy to find.
You can't miss that sign. It's like
I know, it's like in your face.
It is.
It's great.
Yeah. So now you've discovered some new talent. I know I got to interview some talent that you had brought in to teach a class. How did all that go? How did your class go?
We brought in Britt Sheridan from LA to come and teach a acting on camera intensive.
Now, Britt Sheridan, if people don't know, is a pretty accomplished actress, as young as she is. She's been in commercials. She's been on TV shows. She's a very talented musician.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
she's
And singer.
amazing. She
Yeah,
is
so
amazing.
you brought her in from LA, and she was a former student of yours, wasn't she?
Yeah, I taught her for years back
Yeah.
in Dallas Fort Worth years ago, and she's just
So-
it's so cool to
And
see
you've
your
got to be very
student growth
proud of
and
that.
be oh
because
gosh,
under
yes.
your tutelage, she's really learned some skills to actually make a go of it in Hollywood.
Yes, it's neat. It's
That's
really
amazing
neat.
stuff. So how did it go? How did the class go?
The classes were fantastic. Everyone that came really learned so much about acting on camera, film acting. It's needed here.
Yeah.
And we have another event coming up too. If y'all missed this, this past event with Britt Sheridan, she will be back. We're going to bring her back in at some point to do another intensive. But at the end of May, we have Catherine Sullivan coming in. That is Demi Lovato's acting coach.
Oh, wow.
Also Selena Gomez, and on and on. Her son is Cody Lindley. Y'all have seen him Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Cody Lindley. And Catherine is a master. And she's going to be here on May 31st and June 1st. So May 31st is the 10 years old and up class intensive, and on June 1st is the adults.
And this is all about acting, right?
It's all acting on camera.
And
Yes.
how do we get? Can we just go to your website to get
Yes.
tickets, or can we just show up? Or
Yes,
how's that gonna work?
that should be up shortly, where you can go on our website, the PamelaElliottTalentAgency.com, and you can actually register and purchase everything online.
Pamela Elliott, thanks again for coming on to the show. This is like the quickest 5 minutes of the week. And continued success with the talent agency and the vocal studios.
Thanks, Don. I appreciate that.
All right, and we'll see you next time, and we'll be right back after these messages. Good morning and welcome back to the show. I'm sitting here yucking it up with Ashley Sheffield, who is the reigning Azalea Queen and a senior at Mosley High School, and Amanda Barrow, who is from the Visual Arts Center of Northwest Florida. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Amanda, you're having an event here, aren't you, soon?
Absolutely. We're having our 45th Spring Festival of the Arts. It is a 45-year tradition in McKenzie Park. This was originally an art festival that was held by the Women's Club, and now the Visual Arts Center has inherited it, and we're continuing all of the traditions under the Oaks.
And what are some of those traditions?
We have a fine juried art show, and then a competition as well. we have expanded upon that with a Children's Choice Award this year that Ashley will actually be doing the presentation of.
Oh, so that's the
Yes.
tie-in with the Azalea
Yes.
Queen. So you'll be presenting that award.
Yes, I will be presenting the award, and it's really something that they focus on, education of the arts, and that's really like the main, what they thrive off of with this event.
No, that's great that you do that. Now, are you going to do it dressed as an Azalea Queen when you do it, or will you just do it in regular street clothes?
I'm going to be wearing a gown, so
Oh,
not
very
the
nice.
exact one that I wore on the day I got crowned, but I'll be wearing a gown.
Because
Yes.
several years ago, my son was an escort to a young lady at the Azalea Trail.
Yes.
And yeah, and some of the outfits are just gorgeous. I mean,
Yes.
it really is like real, Southern Belle type stuff.
Yes.
I think it's kind of a cool little Southern tradition that they have going on out there. So
Absolutely.
what's going to happen at this event?
Well,
and are you raising money, and where's the money going to go, and what's the whole purpose of it?
Well, actually, the Spring Festival of the Arts is one of the largest fundraisers for the Visual Arts Center. And funding from that festival actually goes into all of our children's summer youth art programs. We try to give at least 100 scholarships throughout the year to children from various families in the community, whether it be through programs such as Boys and Girls Club or someone who wants to walk in our door and fill out a scholarship application. So it's very important to the Visual Arts Center, and also it's a wonderful competition for the artists, and they're able to win some prize money as well.
No, that's good. Now, can anybody enter the competition?
Absolutely. It's open to the public. It is juried, though, so there are some requirements.
It's juried? Is that what you
It
said?
is, yes.
What does that mean?
That means that they have to enter or provide pictures of their artwork, and then
I
a
see.
panel will sit down and decide whether
Whether
that
it's
artwork
good enough.
Exactly.
I gotcha. And then once they're entered into it, then they can win fabulous prizes.
Correct. And we do have we have
Yeah.
a judge who's coming out to the festival who will walk around on Saturday and kind of snoop around and
Yeah.
choose their best of show and a few other wonderful awards. And then, of course, the Children's Choice.
Yeah, the Children's Choice. Now, how about that event? Is that a competition as well?
Yes. Actually, the children, they can get ballots, is what she was telling me, and they can vote for their favorite booth. So they need to they're supposed to go to all the different booths and choose their choice awards. So
Oh, that's so the kids actually get to pick the winning art then.
yes.
That's kind of a cool little system, I think.
Absolutely, and the mission of the Visual Arts Center is to grow and cultivate the arts in our community, and this is one way to engage children in that and learning about the arts. And let's say they wanted to make the arts a career, they would learn a little bit up front about a juried art competition and how that works.
We got to run off to a break right now, but on the other side of that, let's talk about how important the arts are to Bay County, Panama City, and the surrounding areas. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Amanda Barrow and Ashley Sheffield, and we're talking about Spring Festival of the Arts. When is this festival taking place?
The Spring Festival of the Arts is always the first weekend of May. This year, it's May 2nd through 4th.
That sounds like it's going to be a really good time. Now, you're going to have all kinds of things there, aren't you?
Yes. There's going to be music. There's going to be some dancing, a
And
bunch
beside-
of art, a bunch of different artists from around the area.
Yeah. And you're going to have a celebrity host there, too, I hear.
So we hear. I
Yeah.
think you're going to be paying us a visit as our
Yes,
wonderful
I
MC,
will.
so
Which makes it
appreciative.
worth the price of admission in itself, you know?
Entertaining everybody.
Yes.
Hopefully bringing us some good weather too.
Yes, we can hope. We can only hope. I mean, if we have, a lot of rain, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I think if it rains enough today, then it'll be clear over the weekend. One thing that I'm actually really excited about in the entertainment is we are welcoming back our Woodlawn Children's Orchestra, and these are young children who are incredibly talented playing the violin and an assortment of other instruments. What's really special about this, though, is last year, one of the winning artists, his name is Ricky Steele, he actually took some photos of them performing and painted them over the year, and he's going to be showcasing that
Oh,
work
how cool.
this year. They're very, very special pieces.
Oh, wow. And how old are these kids in the Woodlawn Orchestra?
I believe they are around the age of maybe 4 to 10. They're very young,
Wow.
very talented, very talented.
That sounds like pretty amazing stuff. I would go just to
Absolutely.
see that, So we're going to have a variety of musical artists there, right?
Absolutely. There is going to be acoustic, I believe a few bands. It's going to be very interesting. And then in between, we're going to have the dancers, such as the children from Studio by the Sea, and just an assortment. I believe we have a poet. It'll be Just an exciting event, lots of entertainment, which is really wonderful to bring to the community at no cost.
And then the art competition. And that kids' art competition sounds like it's going to be really cool. So this is something you could bring the whole family to.
Absolutely. And there's also going to be a free Mommy and Me Paint Your Art Out, which is a step-by-step painting class that the Visual Arts Center hosts. It's Saturday at 1 o'clock. No admission for that, and seating is limited, but we're going to have a very special piece for these children to create on their own and hopefully showcase that in their home, just the way you would present a piece of art in your house.
So what time does it start?
The festival on Friday is from 5 to 9 p.m., Saturday 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and then on Sunday 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
So it's a whole weekend of fun, sounds like.
Absolutely.
Well, I look forward to seeing you guys out there, and good luck, and thank you for everything you do, and congratulations, Azalea Queen.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for thanks for being involved in this too.
Absolutely. We're honored to have you.
Yes.
And you as well.
All right, thanks so much. You've been watching Waking Up with Don, and I'll see you next time.